You think the silence means you have been overlooked. You refresh your messages, glance at other people's breakthroughs, and wonder what you did wrong. Hear me clearly. You are not being punished. You have been invited. Hidden places are not empty. They are appointments. When the noise drops, the signal rises. This season is not a hallway with flickering lights. It is a waiting room where the surgeon prepares his tools, where the potter watches the clay settle so the next shape will not crack under heat. I am teaching you to breathe without applause, to walk without an escort, to choose obedience when no one is counting. I am training your soul to prefer truth over trends, depth over dopamine, roots over reach. I will not promote you into exposure that your character cannot carry. I will not hand you a platform that steals your peace. I am preparing honor, which means I am preparing you. Lay down the sentence that says you are forgotten. Pick up the sentence that says you are being formed. In a moment, you will recognize signs that this is not delay, but design. You will learn a daily practice that converts quiet into strength. You will make agreements that seal your focus. Stay close. The door you want will not save you if the person who walks through it is unready. I am shaping the person. Then, I will open the door, the silent appointment. This is where the calendar of heaven intersects your ordinary day. It does not look impressive. It looks like a commute, a slow morning, a late shift, an unreturned call. The appointment is not with a crowd. It is with me. I schedule hidden hours because honor needs rehearsal. I remove the rush so you can hear the difference between pressure and peace. I separate you from frantic rooms so your motives can breathe. In this appointment, I ask questions that cut through fog. Who are you when no one is watching? What truth would you keep without reward? Which promise will you guard when timelines slip? This is not a test you take once. It is a rhythm you learn until faith becomes muscle memory. I speak in scripture that anchors your thoughts, in nudges that redirect your steps, in a conviction that refuses shortcuts. I am not late. I am exact. I shield you from opportunities that would flatter you into failure. I strengthen the yes that will not bargain. When you honor this appointment, bitterness loses air, envy loses voice, and your heart begins to rest. You stop chasing rooms and start cultivating weight. Keep the chair by the window. Keep the lamp low. Bring your questions. Bring your will. I will meet you in the quiet and mark you for the next room. The weight room of honor. This is where resistance becomes your trainer and repetition becomes your translator. Not the glamorous resistance that earns a headline, but the quiet kind that visits in the morning when you feel unseen and at night when the applause fades. I place weight on your motives so they stop trembling under opinion. I slow your pace so you can learn strength without strain. I let certain doors stay closed so your character learns to knock without begging. You think you need a platform. What you truly need is posture. Honor does not begin on a stage. Honor begins under a bar you cannot lift in your own strength. I care about your form. If I let you move too fast, you would carry favor with crooked wrists and bend truth to keep what you think you earned. So I teach you alignment. I align your breath with prayer, your mind with my word, your hands with honest work, your feet with steady obedience. You call it delay. I call it time under tension, where faith fibers are formed strand by strand until they hold more than pressure and opinion. In this room you learn warm-ups that protect you. Repentance warms the joints of your conscience. Gratitude wakes the smaller muscles of humility that keep you stable when praise tries to tip you over. Integrity is your core. Without it, you collapse under the slightest weight of opportunity. Identity is your spine. I straighten it with truth so you stop hunching to fit into rooms I never sent you to. Forgiveness is your mobility. It keeps you from stiffening in resentment so you can move freely when I tell you to change direction. Patience is the steady cadence that keeps you from jerking the bar to impress onlookers. Excellence is the rhythm of clean repetitions when no one is counting. Faithfulness is the timer that keeps you in the set until the bell rings. None of this looks spectacular, yet all of it is forming a life that can carry blessing without bending into pride. I increase the load with small, unnoticed assignments. You hold a door, you send a note, you finish a task no one will applaud, and you think it is nothing. In heaven's metric, These are the hidden reps that build a frame strong enough for visible work later. Every time you refuse to gossip when it would win you quick favor, you add strength to your grip. Every time you honor a promise that costs you comfort, you thicken the sinews of credibility across your name. Every time you step away from a shortcut that would speed your progress but shrink your soul, you grow the muscles that bear honor without fracture. You stop asking for lighter burdens and start asking for a stronger back. That prayer tells me you are learning. Because I am not withholding promotion, I am preventing injury. Do not despise the burn. The final repetitions that feel impossible are the very ones that trigger new capacity. When you reach that trembling point in prayer, stay with me. When you want to quit the assignment no one sees, finish the set. When you feel the ache of being misunderstood, resist the urge to prove yourself and let your quiet consistency become the proof. You will not always be able to measure progress by mirrors and measurements. Some strength is hidden until the day it is required. Then it appears as calm in a storm, as clarity in confusion, as gentleness in conflict, as courage when others freeze. This is what I am building. I am training you to carry authority without crushing tenderness, to receive honor without abandoning truth, to walk through open doors without losing the voice that brought you there. Rest matters in this room as much as work. I schedule rest so the fibers of your faith rebuild stronger than before. Rest is not laziness. Rest is trust. When you rest, you confess that outcomes are in my hands. You put down the bar of control and let me be the strength beneath your strength. I become your spotter. I stand over you when the weight hovers above your chest and I say, press. I do not take the bar away at the first sign of fatigue. I add just enough help to keep you moving so you discover that my grace is not a replacement for your effort or a reward for your effort, but the power inside your effort. Nutrition matters here as well. My word is your daily protein. Not a quote to decorate a mood, but substance that rebuilds what resistance has torn. Prayer is your hydration that keeps your inner life from cramping in dryness. Worship is the clean fuel that burns without smoke, leaving your conscience clear and your motives quiet. Community is the training partner who calls out your sets and refuses your excuses. Correction is the coach who adjusts your form so favor does not injure you. Secrecy about sin is the injury you pretend is fine until it becomes a tear. Bring it into the light. I heal what you reveal. I strengthen what you surrender. You have prayed for impact. Impact is mass times acceleration. I am adding mass to your life in the form of weighty virtues, so that when I accelerate you, the impact blesses rather than bruises. You have asked for influence. Influence is weight others can lean on without collapsing. So I am building load-bearing kindness, unshakable truthfulness, resilient hope, disciplined thought, and a peace that does not wobble under news or numbers. This is the weight room of honor. It is not a punishment chamber. It is a place of preparation where I treat your future as valuable enough to train for. When the same tests return tomorrow, do not say, "Here we go again." Say, "Here we grow again." Lift with gratitude. Sharpen your form. Count each repetition as rehearsal for rooms you have not seen, but that I have already measured for you. Remember that applause is a stimulant, not a diet. It spikes your energy and then drops you lower than before. The daily bread of obedience keeps you steady over a lifetime. Let others chase mirrors. You chase mastery. Let others brag about personal bests. You bring me consistent faithfulness, and I will write my best through your life. Soon, you will see why low visibility is not failure. It is a thatched roof over a growing house. It is scaffolding around a cathedral under construction. It is the backstage where a skill becomes second nature, so that on stage you can be present to people instead of performing for them. I am not interested in moments that cannot be maintained. I am building a weight you can carry without drama, without panic, without the constant need to be noticed. When the set is complete, I will call your name. Until then, listen for the cadence of my count. Breathe with me. Move with me. Let this season teach you to prefer form over flash, depth over display, substance over speed. You are ready to learn how I measure what the world does not count. You are ready to see why hidden strength outranks loud exposure every time. In the next room, I will show you how my ranking works and why hype is a poor coach for a holy life. Heaven's algorithm. versus the hype machine. You live in a world that treats visibility as virtue and reach as righteousness. The hype machine rewards noise that travels fast even when it carries nothing of weight. It ranks you by reactions, not by reality, and shouts that being seen is the same as being sent. My kingdom does not run on that code. Heaven's algorithm is older than the first sunrise and wiser than the newest trend. I do not boost what is loud. I cultivate what is true. I do not prioritize what spikes. I grow what lasts. The hype machine pushes you to optimize for attention. I invite you to align with intention. It tells you to post before you are ready. I train you to practice until what you carry is clean enough to bless strangers who will never know your name. I measure different things. I weigh motives and find them heavy or hollow. I weigh words and see if they heal or harm. I weigh your secret agreements and watch whether they tether you to truth when the crowd pulls you to compromise. I register the tone of your heart when no one is watching. I count the patience you show when the queue moves slowly. I note the mercy you extend when no one returns the favor. None of this trends on a chart, yet all of it trains the person you are becoming. The hype machine needs constant novelty to survive. Heaven needs only steady obedience to build a life that turns heads without trying. You wonder why your numbers lag while others surge. You assume I am holding you back. I am holding you together. I silence rooms that would inflame your insecurity and replace them with rooms that fortify your identity. I am not impressed by velocity without direction. I am not moved by impressions that never become impact. There are patterns I will not let you copy because they form a person who cannot carry where I am taking you. There are shortcuts I will not allow because they steal muscle from the soul and leave you brittle underneath the smile. There are invitations I will not let you accept because they tether you to voices that would fracture your focus. This is not a call to hide from the world. This is a call to enter it with a quality that cannot be counterfeited. When my algorithm elevates a life, the signal holds through storms. A single word spoken from a clean place can do more in a minute than 1,000 posts crafted for applause. A single act of obedience can unlock rooms your strategy never found. You do not need to chase what you are called to carry. You need to become the kind of person who can carry it without leaking peace. Learn to recognize the hype machine in your emotions. If you feel frantic urgency to prove yourself, that is not me. If you feel pressure to speak before you understand, that is not me. If you feel your worth swing on each response, that is not me. My rhythm marks you with clarity, not frenzy. My prompting feels like a grounded yes, not a panicked now. My timing will ask for courage, not for compromise. When I open a door, the invitation arrives with a clean conscience and a steady peace that lingers after the adrenaline fades. There is a reason I train you in unseen places. The hype machine can imitate language, but it cannot imitate weight. It can borrow a style, but it cannot borrow substance. It can capture a glance, but it cannot capture hearts that are tired of being sold to. People can sense when a voice has paid the price to say what it says. They can sense when a message carries the quiet gravity of someone who did the work with me in the dark. That gravity outlives trends and survives algorithms that change their rules every month. You ask how to work in a public world without being swallowed by it. Keep your private world heavier. Give me the first attention of your day, so metrics never become your master. Let my word be your mirror so you do not hunger for reflections that distort you. Craft what you make until it is clean of manipulation. Speak what you have lived so your testimony is not rented language. Honor the people in front of you, rather than performing for the crowd beyond them. Serve the work even when it is small, and I will teach the work to serve you when it grows. When you slip and chase the noise, return quickly. I am not shaming you. I am shaping you. I will use platforms when the time is right. I am not against reach. I am against reach that outruns roots. When your roots drink from me, your reach feeds others instead of draining you. When your roots go deep in truth, your content becomes a shelter rather than a stunt. When your roots wrap around humility, your name becomes a door others can trust. Do not confuse momentum with mission. Do not confuse exposure with authority. Authority is not granted by views. It is recognized by heaven and confirmed by fruit that holds under pressure. Let me recalibrate how you measure a good day. A good day is not the spike. A good day is a clean heart, a faithful task, A word given at the right time, a temptation resisted, a person served without needing credit. Let me recalibrate how you measure a good season. A good season is not constant expansion. A good season is deepening wisdom, quieter pride, stronger patience, clearer boundaries, bolder kindness. When you see progress in these, you are ranking high where it matters. The rooms you long for will open to a person like that and will remain open because a person like that does not have to pretend. I am not asking you to ignore data. I am asking you to interpret it with me. If the numbers dip, ask what I am strengthening. If a post goes wide, ask how to steward it rather than how to exploit it. If a door shuts, ask which virtue I am signaling needs growth. If a door opens, ask how to walk through it without forfeiting peace. This partnership keeps you free from the slavery of approval. It keeps your art honest and your spirit clean. You are ready to carry a name that holds more than a platform ever could. In the next chapter, I will show you how I build that name before I ever place you on a stage, so what you are given does not undo who you are becoming. The unseen audit. There is an audit underway that no calendar invites announce and no camera records. I conduct it in the corridors of your ordinary day, where receipts of character are printed in small decisions that seem too minor to matter. I watch how you handle time when no one is waiting for you, money when no one can trace the trail, secrets when they are delicious to share, power when it would be easy to push, pain when it would be convenient to numb, praise when it would be flattering to believe. I'm not looking for performance. I'm looking for truth under pressure. This audit does not punish. It reveals. It reveals whether your inner life can hold the weight of the honor I am preparing, and whether the person behind your name matches the promise of your words. I begin where motives live. You say the right thing publicly. I listen for the tone of your heart privately. Do you give because it is good or because it will be seen? Do you serve because love moved you, or because lack demanded applause? When you part with a gift that nobody knows about, something shifts. The soul relaxes its grip on image and begins to prefer reality. I am not counting zeros. I am counting freedom. I am asking whether generosity has become your native language or a line you deliver when the audience leans in. When I see you choose the quiet road, I make a note in a ledger you cannot access, yet you will benefit from later. Heaven memorializes what the feed forgets. Follow through is the next page. I watch how you complete the task after the excitement has cooled. I watch the quality you bring to the final 10% when fatigue arrives and novelty has left the building. I watch whether you return the message you do not feel like answering, whether you deliver what you promised on the day you promised, whether you close loops that others will never audit because they stopped paying attention. Excellence is not drama at the beginning. Excellence is dignity at the end. When your yes remains sturdy without supervision, your name accrues interest. The day will come when someone asks whether you can be trusted with what matters. This ledger speaks for you without a speech. Mercy occupies a long chapter. I register the moment you could embarrass someone who failed you and choose to cover them instead. I notice when you confront with clarity but remove venom so truth can be heard without fear. I pay attention to how you speak about rivals when they are not in the room, to how you treat the tired person at the counter, to how you carry authority without making others small. Mercy is not softness. Mercy is strength that refuses cruelty. When mercy becomes instinct, doors open that strategy cannot unlock because I place you where my heart is safe in your hands. There are tests of secrecy. I watch what you do when you could get away with a small lie. I watch whether you edit a story to place yourself in a brighter light. I watch whether you hide a weakness that would heal if confessed or protect a sin that will rot if hidden. Secrets rot the beams that hold honor. Confession lets clean air in. When you bring the truth to me and to a trusted person, I do not shame you. I steady you. I rebuild what deceit was weakening. I would rather slow your pace for a short season than let a quiet fracture expand under public weight. There are tests of power. I see how you treat people who cannot return favor. I notice whether you weaponize silence to control, whether you withhold help to maintain leverage, whether you speak in ways that make others feel small so you can feel tall. Power is safe in hands that choose service. Authority expands in lives that lower themselves to lift others. When you choose the towel over the throne, I add a line to your ledger that permits me to trust you with influence without losing people in the process. There are tests of pain. I trace your choices when the ache grows loud. Do you run to distractions that promise relief and steal resolve? Do you medicate with endless scrolling that leaves the spirit thirsty? Or do you bring the ache to me and let it become a well of compassion that makes you gentle with the wounds of others? Pain can shrink the soul into self, or it can widen the soul into sanctuary. When you choose the second, the ledger records capacity you will need later when hurting people gather around your voice. There are tests of praise. I watch what happens to your appetite when affirmation arrives. Do you secretly increase your dosage, posting faster, speaking louder, bending content toward reaction because applause felt like oxygen? Or do you say thank you and return to the secret place where your breath is not borrowed from strangers? Praise is a stimulant. If it becomes your diet, you will crash. If gratitude becomes your response, you will stay steady. Steady people can shepherd grace without spilling it. I watch how you handle boundaries. Do you honor your word to rest, or do you betray your own promises to chase momentum? Do you set limits around the sacred so the public does not swallow the private? Do you allow people to interrupt the commitments that keep you healthy because you are afraid to disappoint? Honor will eventually demand these muscles. The audit strengthens them now so the future does not break them. The audit includes your relationship with truth. When a fact injures your image, do you reshape it or face it? When a correction arrives, do you dodge it or welcome it? When a better idea appears from someone younger or quieter, do you embrace it or bury it? Teachability is oxygen for calling. Pride is mold on the walls. I open the windows wide and invite clean air. Where you agree with me, I renovate quickly. Where you resist, I slow the process because I will not build glory atop rot. I am thorough. I will test the same areas again, not because I doubt you, but because strength is confirmed in repetition. Think of it as weight put on just enough times for muscle to remember. Over time, patterns replace occasional victories. You become the kind of person who does not have to announce integrity, because integrity shows up in your wake. Rooms relax when you arrive. People drop their guard when you speak. Opportunities begin to find you because reliability is rare, and I like to staff my assignments with those I can count on. You ask how long this lasts. It lasts as long as it takes to make good the default. It lasts until excellence no longer depends on adrenaline, until kindness no longer depends on convenience, until truth no longer depends on being rewarded. When this work is in place, promotion is not a risk. It is a service. Then I turn the page and write permissions you have not seen before. The ledger of private faithfulness authorizes public trust without the hustle that exhausts so many. You will not steal credit because you trained to give it away. You will not panic when misunderstood because you trained to let fruit speak. You will not crumble under pressure because you trained to rest in me between sets. This audit is not abstract. It happens in places you can touch. A counter with receipts, a hallway conversation, a workspace after hours, a kitchen table with a bill, a text thread where silence would be easier than honesty. I meet you in these locations and mark the choices that will shape your future. In the next section, I will take you into those geographies and show you why certain rooms are chosen on purpose to incubate gifts away from premature exposure, so that when visibility comes, it confirms what the hidden season already proved. I do not form you in imaginary landscapes. I choose rooms you can smell and floors that scuff your shoes. There is a reason your training happens in ordinary locations that look beneath your calling. That commute is a hallway I measured. That small apartment is a cell of clarity. That late shift is a chapel after the congregation has gone home. I pick geographies that strip away performance and hand you conditions that refine endurance. Your calling does not need a bigger stage yet. Your calling needs a truer room. When applause goes silent, a space begins to speak. The hum of a cheap light, the click of a time clock, the quiet of a kitchen after dishes, the flicker of a cursor on a blank document. These sounds become the metronome of formation, keeping your pace steady while I work muscle into your patience and steel into your hope. I send you to small rooms because small rooms make motives visible. In a crowd, you can hide waste and call it multitasking. In a tiny office, every compromise echoes. I know what you can become, and I know what would break you later. so I tune your environment. I reduce the input so you can hear the interior voice that once drowned under traffic. I slow the stream so you can see what floats and what sinks. The room is part of the curriculum. The back row teaches humility without humiliation. The copy desk teaches attention without anxiety. The nursery teaches gentleness that outlives mood. The shop floor teaches rhythm that outlives hype. Each location brings a lesson only it can give. Refuse the location, and you forfeit the lesson. Receive the location, and the lesson engraves into your soul. You think the place is blocking you. Often the place is protecting you. The quiet department keeps an immature gift from being harvested before its season. The unknown neighborhood lets you fail without a jury. The small congregation lets you preach to 10 hearts until love replaces performance. The startup team lets you build systems with your own hands until stewardship becomes instinct. I shelter you under the roof of obscurity so the weather cannot crack you. When the wind rises later, you will not rattle. Walls I built in hidden seasons will hold. There are rooms of waiting that look like punishment, a hospital corridor where time stretches, a visa office where paperwork slows a dream, a classroom that feels below your capacity. I am not mocking your desire. I am maturing your desire. Waiting rooms remove the illusion that breakthrough is earned by frantic effort. Waiting rooms teach you the prayer that changes posture from bargaining to trust. The prayer is simple. Make me ready. Use this room. Seal the lessons. Aim my heart. When that prayer marks the walls, the room changes. You change. What felt like a pause begins to feel like a greenhouse. Heat and humidity are uncomfortable, but they accelerate growth when you learn how to breathe there. Hidden geographies train the senses that platforms cannot give. The back corridor teaches you to recognize the sigh of a weary soul before they speak. The customer service counter trains your patience to carry a voice that de-escalates storms. The spreadsheet teaches your mind to love truth in numbers so your words later will not exaggerate. The rehearsal space teaches your body to carry excellence without witnesses so excellence becomes your default when witnesses arrive. I am building instincts. Instincts cannot be downloaded. Instincts are carved by repetition in real places where shortcuts are obvious and rejected. The location shapes your imagination of faithfulness. Faithfulness at a sink translates into faithfulness with a microphone. Faithfulness with receipts translates into faithfulness with budgets. Faithfulness with a single student translates into faithfulness with a stadium. The scale changes, the spirit does not. You learn to look at any room and ask 2 questions. What is the honorable thing here? What is the excellent thing here? When those questions become reflex, geographies lose the power to define you. You carry honor into the room rather than begging the room to lend you its prestige. Do not despise the rooms that conceal you. Bless the gatekeepers who do not recognize you yet. They are unwitting partners in your preservation. Do not curse the traffic that forces you to slow. Use it to rehearse scripture and let it renew your mind before the office door clicks. Do not insult small paychecks with sloppy work. Teach your hands to respect the task because I am watching the way you treat what seems beneath you. Heaven notes how you handle little as proof for much. The large rooms you imagine are not waiting for a louder voice. They are waiting for a truer servant. There is a spiritual topography to your city, places where cynicism gathers and places where hope breathes clean. I will lead you through both. I will show you how to build altars in bright kitchens and in break rooms that smell like burnt coffee. I will show you how to honor supervisors who are learning kindness slowly. I will show you how to speak peace over a neighborhood stairwell and how to pray through a desk drawer where temptation lurks in small compromises. You will become a cartographer of grace, mapping where I met you so you can return with others when it is their turn to be formed. Geographies discipline your pace. Busy rooms will tempt you to run. Empty rooms will tempt you to quit. I teach you to hold a steady cadence that ignores both. Your worth is not in the crowd's noise or in the room's silence. Your worth is in my voice. I will sometimes send you to a lively place to practice focus. I will sometimes send you to a low place to practice hope. I will sometimes assign you a narrow place to practice precision. I will sometimes invite you into a wide place to practice generosity. There is formation in the contours. There is calligraphy in the way I write your steps through streets and corridors and homes. Honor these rooms with your presence. Arrive as if sent. Behave as if entrusted. Speak as if every sentence is laying track for the next season. Do the small honorable thing now and you will arrive later without having to fake what you claim to be. When the season shifts, you will not miss the old room, you will thank it. Gratitude will keep you from mocking where you learn to walk while you learn to run. Gratitude will keep you tender with people who are still in rooms you have left. Gratitude will remind you that I visited you in the ordinary, and that ordinary places still matter to me. When you grasp why I chose these addresses, frustration drains out and focus returns. You stop fighting your geography. You start harvesting it. You convert waiting into wisdom, repetition into skill, quiet into signal, small into solid. Then when a door opens, you step over the threshold with weight. You carry the peace these rooms taught you. You carry the focus these rooms trained into your eyes. You carry the steadiness these rooms hammered into your spine. The place built the person. Now the person will bless the place. You are ready to learn what to build while the doors remain closed. You are ready to refine one essential skill in the shadows until it bears your signature and opens doors without you knocking. In the next topic, I will show you the craft of holy obscurity and how mastery formed without applause becomes the key that fits locks you once thought were sealed. The craft of holy obscurity. There is a craft you can only learn in the dark, a craftsmanship of the soul that refuses shortcuts and chooses clean lines when no one is watching. I lead you into holy obscurity to turn raw desire into durable skill, to turn vague calling into precise work. You want a door to swing wide. I want a key in your hand that fits more than one lock. Keys are cut by pressure and fine abrasion. Every hidden hour at the bench is one more stroke that shapes your edge until it turns with ease where brute force would only scar the wood. Choose one tool and master it. Let your words become instruments that set bones instead of breaking them. Let your listening become a room where tired hearts breathe and find sense again. Let your research become a lamp that burns long without smoke. Let your prayer become a steady wind that moves ships you will never board. Focus is not punishment. Focus is mercy. In a loud age, focus is how I simplify your power. I do not need you to be everything. I need you to be true. True work rings when struck. It carries a tone that copies cannot fake. In obscurity, I teach you cadence. Mastery is not a single great attempt. Mastery is a long obedience in one direction until muscle memory handles what used to drain your will. You will repeat scales no one hears. You will write drafts no one reads. You will practice kindness in rooms that forget to say thank you. Every repetition carves a groove where excellence can flow without strain later. This is how work becomes worship. This is how you stop performing and start serving. When the craft is inside you, you are free to look people in the eyes because you are not juggling a mask. You are present. Presence communicates more than performance ever will. I will correct your form. I will remove flair that hides flaws. I will ask for simpler sentences and stronger substance. I will ask for edits that reduce what flatters you and increase what helps them. I will teach you how to silence the need to impress so the truth can be heard without static. Do not resist the blade that trims your excess. Precision liberates. Many speak for attention. Few speak for transformation. Many create to be seen. Few create to serve. I am forming you to be among the few. You will learn to separate output from identity. The day your worth is tied to applause, you become a slave to the crowd. The day your work flows from identity, you become a steward. A steward can receive feedback without shattering. A steward can ship work without demanding worship. A steward can rest on cue because they know who holds outcomes. Obscurity trains this freedom. You will miss deadlines you set for yourself because integrity required a rewrite. You will say no to opportunities because your craft would be diluted. You will choose quality over speed until quality becomes so consistent that even speed bows to it. You will apprentice under silence. Silence teaches you to hear the second thought beneath the first thought. Silence teaches you to notice the small fracture that will split a beam if ignored. Silence teaches you to wait until a sentence arrives that carries peace. When you speak from that peace, People lean forward without knowing why. They hear a sound that is not desperate. They recognize the patience of a builder. This is holy craftsmanship. It respects the weight of words and refuses to flood the world with noise. You will practice unseen generosity. Craft is not hoarded. It is handed on. Teach someone behind you while you are still learning. Share a template. Lend a book. Mark a path that took you a year to find so another can walk it in a week. You are not shrinking your value. You are multiplying it. Masters are not threatened by students. Masters become fathers and mothers who celebrate when others surpass them. This is the culture of my house. Honor flows in both directions, and excellence rises without rivalry. You will build scaffolding for your future self. Checklists that keep your standards high when energy dips. Systems that protect your word from overcommitment. Routines that stock your spirit with substance before you touch a platform. These structures are not cages. They are rails on a mountain path. They let you look at the view without falling off the edge. They let you carry more without wobbling. They keep your art honest when pressure arrives with offers. You will let wounds become wisdom. The criticism that stung will teach you to separate noise from signal. The rejection that humbled you will teach you to anchor in me instead of validation. The failure that embarrassed you will teach you to design safety into your process so future failures instruct without destroying. Craftsmen do not resent mistakes. They practice recovery. They learn how to restart quickly, how to confess, how to repair, how to improve. Over time, this rhythm becomes grace in your hands. People will bring you their broken pieces because you grew patient enough to help them mend. You will protect the sacred from the market. Not every revelation is a product. Keep some things as offerings. Keep some prayers between us. Keep some victories unposted so your soul remembers who it is for. The market will try to buy your secrets. Decline politely. The heart works best when it does not perform for coins. When you hold back the holy, the portion you do share glows with authenticity that resists corrosion. Audiences can sense when a voice has kept a sanctuary. They relax and let truth travel further in. You will learn the discipline of finishing. Many start with fire. Few finish with fidelity. Decide that your signature includes clean endings. Deliver the work at the level you promised. Wrap the task so the next person can build without confusion. Leave a room better than you found it. Send the note that closes the loop. Thank the people who helped. Finishing is love in practical form. It turns inspiration into trust. Trust compounds. Trust opens doors that hype cannot touch. When the moment of unveiling comes, your craft will speak first. It will tell the room that you have worked in whether they respect. It will tell them that you chose accuracy over approval. It will tell them that you know how to keep promises and how to keep people whole. Your craft will seat you where your name can serve without strain. This is why I keep you in holy obscurity longer than your ego prefers. I am not hiding you to punish desire. I am hiding you to perfect desire. Desire purified becomes vocation. Vocation practice becomes blessing. Blessing carried with craft becomes inheritance. Hold the bench. Keep the lamp low. Lay out your tools. Pray for clean hands and a quiet heart. Ask for eyes that notice what casual workers miss. Ask for courage to cut the flourish that flatters you but weakens the peace. Ask for endurance to repeat the right things until excellence feels like rest. I am with you at the bench. I am in the grain. I am in the patience. I am guiding the blade. When the key is ready, it will be small, simple, and exact. It will turn locks that once mocked you. It will open doors for others as well. That is the mark of holy craft. It serves beyond you. It keeps giving when you are not present to claim the credit. The time signature of formation. Every symphony I write into a life includes rests. You see the measures of silence and think the song has stopped, but I am conducting something larger than your tempo. Timing is not a delay, it is design. When you run ahead of the rhythm, melody turns into noise. When you lag behind it, harmony loses shape. My timing trains your inner clock to follow grace instead of adrenaline. Every pause is a pulse. Every slow bar hides preparation. When I withhold what you're ready to receive in skill but not yet in spirit, I'm not teasing you, I'm tuning you. In these intervals, I teach discernment of pace. You learn to walk instead of sprint, to listen instead of react, to stop treating divine timing as punishment. The human timeline worships speed, mine honors readiness. The world asks how fast, I ask how deep. When you feel stranded, I'm strengthening synchronization, heart, habit, and calling clicking into the same beat. You are learning sacred timing, saying yes when it's costly, no when it's crowded, and waiting when the notes haven't reached their measure. Every rest in the score has a sound if you listen close enough. The rest teaches trust. The delay teaches dependency. The repetition teaches rhythm. Do not resent the pattern that looks like nothing is moving. Stillness is not stagnation, it's calibration. I keep you in certain patterns until your spirit stops jerking at every tempo change. When peace becomes your metronome, you'll know when to play and when to pause. Some doors stay closed because your pulse would still rush through them. I am aligning your heartbeat with heaven's BPM. In the quiet, you'll begin to sense the cues. Conversations that close softly, relationships that slow, desires that shift. These are not accidents. These are time signatures changing. If you push against them, you'll miss harmony. If you listen, you'll find phrasing. Waiting becomes worship when you realize I'm writing not just the melody of your life, but the timing of your transformation. You'll enter rooms on measure, speak words in rhythm, act at tempo. And when others rush, you'll carry a calm that steadies them. The song will reveal what patience built. Music that lasts beyond applause, because it stayed in time with me. The gate of unprovoked kindness. Every promotion in my kingdom passes through an invisible gate, and that gate opens only to mercy that expects nothing in return. I call it the gate of unprovoked kindness. The doorway where the heart learns to give without applause, to forgive without transaction, to bless without witness. Many want to cross into honor but carry grudges heavy enough to jam the hinges. So I lead you back to this threshold again and again, until generosity becomes instinct and compassion becomes muscle memory. Kindness without provocation is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength because it draws its energy from me, not from reaction. Anyone can mirror the tone they receive. I am shaping you to create the tone. When insult comes, you answer with calm. When dismissal comes, you serve with dignity. When others rush for the stage, you make sure the lights are turned on for them. Every time you practice such kindness, you move deeper into authority. Because authority in my house is not measured by how many obey you, but by how many you can love without condition. I test this gate quietly. I let someone forget your effort so you can discover whether gratitude was your fuel or your byproduct. I let misunderstanding cloud your name so you can learn to prefer truth over defense. I let someone else receive what you prayed for so you can bless rather than compare. These are not random pains, they are chisels. Each act of undeserved kindness carves pride away until humility shines through like polished stone. When humility gleams, heaven can trust you with weight because your heart has learned to bend before it breaks. Unprovoked kindness repairs what logic cannot. It dissolves bitterness in the giver before it ever reaches the receiver. It turns rejection into rehearsal for mercy. It teaches patience to your emotions and clarity to your mind. It slows your speech until it carries grace that lands gently even on hard soil. You do not need an audience to practice it. You need a decision, to act as if love were currency that never runs out. When you live this way, you disrupt entire atmospheres. You drain the oxygen out of offense. You end arguments before they start. You become a thermostat instead of a thermometer, setting peace instead of measuring chaos. There will be days when kindness feels wasted. Do it anyway. Seeds look buried until they bloom. There will be nights when forgiveness tastes like defeat. Forgive anyway. I keep the ledger. There will be moments when silence feels like surrender. Stay quiet anyway. I defend reputations built on gentleness. Kindness is not about fairness. It is about freedom. Each time you release resentment, you free yourself from a chain that would have dragged into your next season. I am guarding your future from the poison of justified anger. Practice kindness in thought before action. Bless people in your mind while they still misunderstand you. Pray that peace will find them before pride does. This unseen mercy purifies your motive. The enemy cannot counterfeit pure intent. He can only imitate gestures. That is why I start with heart posture. When your internal language toward others changes from accusation to compassion, you have already advanced through the gate. Actions will follow naturally, flowing from the clean spring I have uncovered within you. Look around the spaces you inhabit. Workplaces, family tables, online words. They are fields begging for this kind of kindness. Offer it strategically. Speak encouragement to the overlooked. Choose patience with the learner who slows you down. Give credit to the person whose idea sharpened yours. Intercede for the critic who drains you. Small, unprovoked mercies are tectonic shifts in the unseen world. They move fault lines of cynicism and open reservoirs of grace. Heaven measures revival not by volume, but by compassion released quietly in ordinary rooms. When kindness becomes reflex, you carry authority that no credential can grant. Angels respond to mercy as soldiers to command. Demons retreat where gentleness reigns because they cannot feed on peace. Doors open before you not because you demanded them, but because kindness turned their locks. The atmosphere itself begins to cooperate with you. Favor recognizes the fragrance of love and follows it. Where others manipulate, you move freely. Where others chase honor, you attract it. Remember this: unprovoked kindness is never forgotten. I store every act as currency for seasons when you will need favor you did not earn. When you step into new rooms, the harvest of old mercy greets you. People you have never met will sense trust without knowing why. The world will call it luck. Heaven will call it justice. That is the gate you are crossing. Keep your hands open. Keep your tone soft. Keep your motives clean. These are the keys that keep the hinges oiled. When criticism rises, answer with blessing. When tension spreads, breathe peace into it. When temptation whispers that mercy makes you weak, remember the cross was unprovoked kindness in its purest form, and it remade the world. You are almost through. On the other side of this gate lies responsibility proportionate to compassion. Step forward lightly, without bitterness, without entitlement. The ground beyond it is sacred. The wind feels different there. Less resistance, more presence. You will notice opportunities finding you without struggle, hearts opening without persuasion, paths clearing without demand. That is the landscape of honor prepared by mercy. The ones who master kindness rule from within rather than from above. The test of excellent smallness. Excellence begins where no spotlight reaches. The smallest acts, how you fold your time, how you handle interruptions, how you treat tasks that will never appear in a resume. These are the laboratories of greatness. I watch you in the unnoticed assignments, because those are the most truthful ones. When no one is measuring, authenticity takes the lead. The test of excellent smallness is not about performance for approval. It's about forming precision that honors me in details too fine for the crowd to see. You pass this test each time you resist the temptation to downgrade effort just because the stage is small. You pass it when you polish a line no one will quote, when you proofread a message before sending, when you fix what others overlook. You begin to understand that excellence is not scale, it is spirit. You do not work with intensity because the audience deserves it. You work with excellence because I dwell in the work. A craftsman is faithful in inches before he commands miles. Smallness reveals motive. When the crowd disappears, so does vanity's fuel. What remains is worship disguised as diligence. You show up on time to meetings that feel unimportant because integrity keeps its appointments. You respond with grace to questions you have answered before because humility sees people, not inconvenience. You give your best to the ordinary because heaven calls it sacred. The habit of carefulness trains your heart to carry weight without wobbling. Those who cannot steward smallness safely cannot bear greatness wisely. In this test, shortcuts whisper constantly. You can rush the task, exaggerate the numbers, bend the process just enough to pass. Every shortcut costs more than it saves. Every careless gesture writes a script for future collapse. So I invite you to slow, to check twice, to deliver clean even when nobody checks your math. Excellence builds reputation quietly. Mediocrity leaks it loudly. Each act of consistency writes a line of credibility across your name, a credibility that will speak when you are not present to defend yourself. Do not mistake perfectionism for excellence. Perfectionism is fear pretending to be virtue. It obsesses over control. Excellence is love translated into quality. It focuses on service. The perfect want to impress. The excellent want to bless. The perfect chase applause. The excellent chase accuracy. You are learning to aim for complete, not flawless. Complete means finished with care, aligned with truth, sealed with peace. Once you have done that, you can release it and rest. Smallness sharpens gratitude. It reminds you that breath is a miracle and opportunity is a gift, not a guarantee. Gratitude keeps bitterness from fermenting when your impact seems invisible. Gratitude transforms routine into altar. Every repetitive task becomes a liturgy when performed with awareness of my presence. Washing dishes becomes prayer. Balancing budgets becomes praise. Writing reports becomes stewardship. You start to live with an inner glow that no promotion can add and no neglect can dim. This test is continuous. It appears in how you treat your equipment, how you organize your space, how you honor deadlines that don't have consequences, how you talk about absent people. I notice every small adjustment you make to keep integrity intact. I reward quiet mastery with trust. Before I increase your visibility, I increase your vigilance. Before I give you crowds, I test how you handle corners. The excellence of smallness is a rehearsal for the responsibility of largeness. Some will call this obsession. Let them. The difference between obsession and devotion is motive. You are not proving worth. You are protecting witness. You are not polishing to shine. You are polishing to reflect light accurately. When you live this way, you outlast trends. You become the person others rely on when systems fail, the calm inside chaos, the steady hands during crisis. That reliability is the fragrance of excellence. It lingers even when you leave the room. When I enlarge your influence, the same habits will follow you like armor. They will keep you grounded when applause rises. They will guard your clarity when critics shout. They will keep you soft while success hardens others. I am not just teaching you how to do things well. I am teaching you how to become someone who cannot do them any other way. Excellence becomes instinct, humility becomes reflex, and honor becomes your language. Soon the assignments will grow. The lights will warm your shoulders. The room will echo your name, yet your posture will not change. You will still see details others miss. You will still take time to thank the unseen. You will still fix what no one notices. That constancy will preach louder than any sermon. It will remind the world that glory was never the goal. Goodness was. That is how I test and trust you, with excellent smallness, so that the large can rest on a foundation that never cracks. The reveal you don't control. Every story has a reveal, and I reserve the timing of yours. You are being trained to trust a schedule that doesn't publish its dates. I decide when the curtain lifts, because visibility is dangerous when handed to an unfinished heart. The moment of unveiling is not a reward for patience, it's the next step of purpose. When you understand this, peace returns. The waiting stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like partnership. You do not control the reveal because you are not meant to carry that pressure. If you could choose it, you'd open doors that look right and lead wrong. You'd accept invitations that glow and drain you. You'd enter seasons that admire your talent, but ignore your soul. So I guard you. I let opportunities circle until your strength matches their weight. I let misunderstandings hold your name in low places while I polish it in private. I let silence answer your critics, because silence tests your motives. When you can bless others being noticed before you, you've passed a level that no algorithm can measure. The reveal always starts in small ripples before the headline moment. A stranger quotes your words. A door you didn't knock on opens quietly. A message finds you from someone you served years ago. The shift begins like dawn, soft, gradual, impossible to pinpoint. That's how I protect you. Instant exposure burns skin not prepared for light. I increase brightness slowly so gratitude can keep up with visibility. Every bit of favor that reaches you is portioned for balance, not adrenaline. I will ask you not to explain your process to everyone who demands a timeline. Some will confuse secrecy with arrogance. Let them. Sacred things lose power when they're handled too early. Keep your blueprint inside until I say speak. Even then, share outcomes more than methods. Transparency is not the same as obedience. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is keep quiet until results preach louder than explanation. When the reveal comes, stay low. The crowd will assume you appeared overnight. You and I will know how many nights built that overnight. Let humility anchor you. Don't stare at the numbers. Look for faces. Don't chase every door. Enter the ones peace unlocks. Don't forget the language of small rooms. It's where I still speak most clearly. Remember, the stage magnifies both truth and flaw. Keep your soul clean so magnification becomes ministry, not exposure of pride. I will also hide you again after some reveals. Not to humiliate you, but to stabilize you. Seasons of public fruit demand new seasons of private root. You will disappear again, not because you failed, but because growth requires cycles. The tree does not mourn when winter steals its leaves. It prepares deeper for spring. I work the same rhythm in you. Learn to celebrate both blooming and pruning. Both are proof of life. When I unveil your work, I unveil my name through it. That's why timing matters so fiercely. The reveal is not a spotlight, it's a reflection. When people look at you, I want them to recognize me without effort. That's why I correct your tone now, refine your words, soften your judgments. You are being prepared to represent a heart, not just an idea. Honor is heavy because it carries holiness. Do not fear the unknown date. It's written in a language of seasons, not seconds. You will know it's time when the peace you feel outweighs the fear you used to fight. The right opportunities will fit without forcing, respond without begging, and stay without manipulation. You won't chase them, they'll find you aligned. That's the moment of divine synchronization. Until then, keep your rhythm steady. Obey the small cues. Perfect your form when no one watches. Guard your gratitude when attention tempts. The next breath you take could be the one before the curtain rises, but even if it isn't, act as though it were. That is the discipline of readiness. You are being unveiled layer by layer so that when the day arrives, the world will see excellence, and heaven will see obedience. From hidden to heralded. There comes a moment when every hidden labor reaches its fullness, when what you built in silence begins to hum with life that others can finally hear. The transition is not about fame, it's about function. What was private now becomes provision for many. You have been refined to carry weight without breaking, to lead without losing tenderness, to shine without forgetting the shadows that shaped you. The final transformation is not a spotlight, it's ascending. You move from hidden to heralded not by demand, but by readiness. The hidden years were the forge where I burned away the noise and taught you to value the unseen. Every prayer whispered through clenched teeth, every task you finished in obscurity, every decision to remain faithful while others advanced, all of it has been recorded as curriculum, not waste. Those were rehearsals for responsibility. You are not stepping into a new identity. You are revealing what already matured inside the old one. The applause of heaven preceded the attention of men. That's why you can walk into visibility without becoming addicted to it. When I lift you, I am not promoting you, I am positioning you. Promotion serves ego, but positioning serves purpose. I place you where your integrity can feed others, where your story can light paths for those still waiting in caves of their own. You will stand in places that once intimidated you, not to boast, but to testify. The humility you learned in private will become your credibility in public. The steadiness you built under pressure will become your authority under favor. What you thought were small repetitions of obedience have become the rhythm by which you now march. Visibility will test you differently. Success whispers subtler lies than suffering ever did. It tells you you've earned what was always grace, that your name opened doors when it was my hand all along. Guard your heart in this new brightness. Keep my presence louder than your platform. Keep your routine of stillness, Your early prayers, your slow mornings with me. Visibility must never outrun intimacy. The louder the world becomes, the more sacred the silence you protect. I will still hide you, even here. Not out of cruelty, but for maintenance. There will be new seasons of retreat, not because you failed, but because roots must deepen with every expansion. You'll learn to step back so the work can breathe without your hand on every lever. You'll find joy in anonymity again, because you know what it yields. You'll discover that your influence grows strongest in those very moments when no one is watching. This is the paradox of honor. You ascend by kneeling. You expand by yielding. You remain great by staying grounded. Now, walk forward. Do not announce yourself. Let fruit speak. Let consistency preach the sermon your words cannot. Let those who meet you feel peace instead of performance. Let every platform become a pulpit of gentleness, every accolade a chance to deflect glory upward. Remember the soil you came from. Remember the rooms that taught you restraint. Remember the people who sharpened your patience. The story of your rise is not proof of ambition. It's proof of endurance. This is the hour to move quietly but carry weight, to speak softly but release thunder, to stand tall but bow low. I have not changed your essence. I have revealed it. You were never forgotten. You were being formed. The light you now walk in is not a trophy. It is a torch. Carry it humbly. Use it to guide others out of their hidden seasons without shaming the silence that shaped them. Show them that waiting is not wasted when the waiter is God. From hidden to heralded, this is your crossing. Not a finish line, but a beginning. You will move through rooms with calm authority, speak words that sound like home, and act with the grace of one who knows how darkness taught him the meaning of light. I have trusted you with shadow. Now I can trust you with shine. Go and let your life declare what your voice has whispered all along. That obscurity was never punishment. It was preparation, and now the preparation has become proclamation.